and Trumpsters all over the globe. I'm so happy to be visiting with you. I feel like I've been starving for communication with you. Even though I've been posting on all our different social media, it's been different. We've all been kind of tucked away, missing out on our lives, missing out on our days, missing out on communication. But it's got to stop. We have got to get back into it. We have got to have hope, and we have got to connect with each other. And in the weeks to come, I'm going to bring you some of our fabulous Trumpsters and Trumpettes that you all know. They've appeared at all of our events, and they'll talk to you like I will. I don't really have anything, actually, I do have something to say. This is the first day in 2 months I've had a dress on. How do you like that? And this is the first day in 2 months that I've really had makeup on. So, just staying in place, working out, doing the things, taking care of the dog, cooking, going to the markets, doing the things you need to do. But we're back. The Trumpettes and Trumpsters have a big job ahead. We have an election coming up in 6 months, and we cannot afford to be silent. We cannot afford to not give our opinions and our knowledge, and to have you, in turn, come back to us with your questions, your information. And you can, join the Trumpettes, get your friends to join the Trumpettes. All they have to do is go to www.trumpetsusa.com and hit the join click, and you're in with us. Men, women, we now have people, I'm happy to say, all over the world, really all over the globe. So it shows you that the president has more connection with people than just America, than just the people that can vote in the election. People from all over this globe have joined, especially since this pandemic has begun. It's amazing to me. You would have thought that it would stop. I mean, people are so occupied with other things. But instead, more and more and more people, even on the weekends, we are getting people joining. So I feel that that's a really good sign. I have to reflect for a minute, because I thought 2020 just started off fantastically. We went to Mar-a-Lago, the Winter White House, my husband and I, with a whole bunch of our friends. Where's a picture? Let's see. Here's a picture from New Year's Eve before we left the house. And my dog Stormy, and my husband Bobby, and myself. And we had a wonderful night with the president. The family was all there. Our friends were all there. It just had such a warm, good feeling that 2020 was going to be the best year of all. After all, our election coming up in November 3rd, and plans to do a big Trumpette event in August to get everybody revved up. And then I segue from New Year's Eve to our third annual Celebrating Trump event at Mar-a-Lago, which was sold out, I'm happy to say, for the third year in a row, more than sold out. And the president and the first lady, I was so thrilled, surprised me, walked in along with our Governor DeSantis and his wife Christie. And there you have it. All of a sudden, it went from magic to super magic. And it was incredible, because the president and even the first lady, we were so honored, got up and spoke. And so February 1 was fantastic. Now that we're into the second month of the year. And then towards the end of the month, we start hearing sort of things that aren't so good. And of course, we all know in March, we were at Kimberly Guilfoyle's birthday party, again at Mar-a-Lago. And everything seemed fantastic. The president came by. President Bolsonaro from Brazil came by. Everything seemed okay, but there was a little bit of undercurrent. There were lots of celebrities there, lots of supporters. Senator Lindsey Graham was there. Jesse Waters was there with his wife Emma, newly married. She's wonderful, by the way. She is adorable. Anyway, from there, from that night, when we now hear stories the next day, oh my, coronavirus, coronavirus, coronavirus. Well, by this time, we are now into May. I'm sorry to say it, but it's true. The Chinese Wuhan virus has stolen our life. They have stolen it completely. We have lost months of our life that we can never get back again. And we have lost jobs. And our president has worked for 3.5 years. Like, no one could believe. No one could have stood up to what he has stood up to, how he has continued to work and do the most incredible job for our economy. Never in the history of America has the economy been that good. Never have we had so much employment. Never have we had so much less unemployment. We have had minorities with great jobs. We have had women working. We've had everything. And it looked like this was just the most incredible year and really a celebration for our 4th annual Celebrating Trump, which was going to be, and which will still be, please God, our gold inaugural ball in honor of the president because he loves gold. And so here we are. We're all ready to do this, and all of a sudden, that's it. Jobs are gone. People are on breadlines. 14.7 million people filed for unemployment. They're predicting, I think Mr. Mnuchin predicted 20 million by next week. This has got to stop. We have got to get our country back. We have got to go out. We have got to go to work. We have got to do those things. But there's a big but, everybody. The but is that we have to wear a mask. The only way that we are going to stop this virus and get it to lay low and go away is by wearing masks out in public and by social distancing whenever possible. I really was upset the other day. I went to one of the markets here and I was shocked. Hardly anybody in the market had a mask on. I thought, are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? Why are you coming into this place? There's air conditioning units, there's produce, you could sneeze, cough, get it all over the produce. Are you touching everything? No one had gloves on. I think there were 2 people I saw with a mask and gloves. This is not good. We have got to be our own policemen, we really do. We have to shake hands with our own hand. We have to make sure we don't touch our faces, and we have to make very sure that everyone wears a mask, regardless of whether a governor has been, in my opinion, way too lenient. It should be mandatory in a public place. There is no doubt about it. Why do we want to take a chance? After all, a second go-round of the coronavirus or a third go-round of the coronavirus would be the most devastating in the world. Our economy would be really shot. And the president, all his hard work to make you, America, so successful and so happy and make sure that you have everything to look forward to has been deprived. It's all been done by the Chinese Wuhan coronavirus. I hope you don't forget where this virus came from. I hope that in time, a lot of American companies realize that we, the people, may not be too happy having things come from China, We're not too happy with them at all, to say it mildly. All the people that have lost their lives or the families that will never be the same. It's just terrible. But we have to have hope because that's what America is all about. We are strong, we stand strong, and we don't turn our backs. We are there for you, and you have to be there for the president. Because whether you like him or you don't like him, one thing is for sure, you don't want the Democrats in office in November. That I promise you. I don't care whether you say, well, I'm really a Democrat. Well, just figure this out. The Democratic Party is not the Democratic Party that used to be. Not at all. It's not the Democratic Party that we knew when President Kennedy was in office. Not at all. Not at all. This is different. This is a socialist, basically a party that is leaning completely towards socialism. And do they really care about the people? I wonder if Joe Biden picked a vice president, is he going to remember who it is? I mean, doesn't it ever enter your mind that that might be a situation? All I know is the president, and now you know, after the Flynn situation and the ridiculous attempt to impeach him, you all know what I know. You know that they were after him from day before he even took the oath to be president. I can remember in 2015, December of 2015, before the president announced, I remember a former man, and a former ambassador, maybe a former man, I don't know. Anyway, a former ambassador asking me who I was going to vote for. And I said, well, if Mr. Trump runs, I'm going to vote for him because I'm impressed with his ethics. I'm impressed with his work. I'm impressed with the way he runs his club. If he could do that, he can be president. I know, because his mind worked like that. And the man looked at me and laughed. And he was a Republican. He looked at me and said, oh, don't be ridiculous. It'll never happen. And I said, why do you say that? He said, because it won't. And I thought, you're out of your mind. But anyway, from there, we all know what happened. This man has been conspired against, worked against, and never has he missed a day of work for you. He is out there every day working for you. That is the most important thing to remember. And now, what you have to remember is that tomorrow, you've got to have hope. I used to love Bob Hope. Makes me think of Bob Hope. I knew him when I was working in Hollywood. And I met him when I first started working in Hollywood. And as he got older, he lived in Palm Springs, and I did too. I still do sometimes. And as he aged, the one thing, we had mutual friends, so they would tell me what was going on. And he walked around his house way into his 90s. He was always singing. And the funny part about it, I love this story. At night, like 10 o'clock at night, because by this time he was really up there, he would take his caregiver, or whatever you want to call it, his assistant, and they'd go to the supermarket. They'd go to, I think it was Jensen's at that time, and they would go there, and he would walk up and down the aisle because he liked to be around people. Whoever was in there, one or two people here, one or two people there, and he'd fill up the basket all to the brim, and then he'd get another basket, and he'd fill that up with groceries, and then they'd go to the front to the cashier, and he'd give the cashier $100, and he'd say, would you put it all back? He just needed to get out and be around the people, because that was his food, his sustenance, his life. And we're not going to give that up either. We're going to get back. The president's going to get us back on our feet. We should have a prophylactic drug. I suspect there may be one out there, quite frankly, even before a vaccine. I've heard that there is one. I really have heard that there is one. Truly, I have. I don't know. I can't say for sure, but hopefully somebody out there right now will want to know why and who and where. Well, let's get it on. Let's get this game going in our court. We've had enough of China's court to last us a lifetime. So let's get rid of that. And by the way, on the second stimulus that's coming up pretty soon, I really think that it would be a wonderful idea if the president really goes head with Pelosi, Miss Nancy Pelosi, because I think that the people, all of the people out there who have lost their job, who need to be sure that until things get rolling again, that they have the money. I don't think, the Postal Service, I think, got $2 billion or something in the last stimulus last month. The Kennedy Center, I think, got $25 million. Then I heard, I don't know if it's true, but I heard after they got it, they fired their whole orchestra. That ought to make you feel good. So, if it's true. So, anyway, there's a lot of B's for billion and M's for million that went to a lot of places that maybe weren't that necessary. Maybe if they wanted to do pork, maybe they could have done 20% of that and done the rest for families. Families that really need it. The difference between hanging on, having hope. You can't live without hope. You've got to have something to look forward to, and you've got to have hope. And therefore, I'm hoping on the second go round of the stimulus that you all get out there and text and Instagram and Twitter and do everything and say the money should go to the people. The money that this is supposed to protect our people until they are back at work, until they have their jobs, they have their families, they're secure about where they live, they know food is on the table, there's someone to take care of the kids or a place to put them while they have to go to work. We have a lot to do. And I need all of you. I need all of you to get interested, get involved with me. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook, Trumpets USA, our webpage, trumpetsusa.com. Just get involved, because whether you like the president or you don't, that is really unimportant. At this moment, there's only one thing for you to do. That's to love your country and make sure we bring it back. Love your country with all your heart and be devoted to bringing it back. I'm the only one that's going to bring it back. I promise you. I promise you, the only one that has your welfare at heart is President Trump. He's the only one. Do you really think anybody else does? Because if you do, boy, have I got a bridge that's going to fall into the ocean that I want to sell you. So, anyway, God bless you all. Get out there. Wear your mask. Oh, here's Stormy. Come say hi to everybody. Come on. Come on. Come on. Here he is. Say hi to my baby. Yes, I know there's a dog walking. It's his walk time. So we're going. Have a wonderful night, everybody. Have a wonderful day. God bless you. May God smile on all of us.
You live here?
Yes.
Well, maybe you know what a zombie is.
When a person dies and is buried, it seems there's certain voodoo priests who have the power to bring him back to life.
How horrible.
It's worse than horrible, because a zombie has no will of his own. You see them sometimes walking around blindly with dead eyes, following orders, not knowing what they do, not caring.
You mean like Democrats?